For next year Friday night, because we are working next year on Friday night. All right. This was on my mind last night, but obviously the way that the draft went in the press conference and the energy I was having, I didn't feel like it was the right time. But Coach and I, on behalf of the entire Eagles organization, want to send our thoughts and prayers to the family of Matt Turping of the Indianapolis Colts, whose wife unexpectedly passed away last week. The whole NFL world is feeling for him. We have a lot of connections with him in this building, and for us, it's been something that's been on our hearts and minds all week. So just wanted to start by sharing our thoughts for him and his family. Okay. Questions?
What would you like about Andrew Makuba?
It's really hard to find cover safeties and guys who have the ability to come down and play over the slot, play in the middle of the field, have natural instincts, play the ball. He was a slot corner at Clemson before he transferred to Texas. He's an Austin kid. He's got ball skills. He plays with mentality, and this guy, it's just he plays an Eagles brand of football, and I think for us, kind of the value fit the need right there, and we felt like throughout this process, this guy just did everything, checked all the boxes, and that was really what we're looking for from that position.
When you say need, you mean safety or slot?
Well, I think he could do both those things, but he's going to start in the safety room, and I think that at the end of the day, we're looking to add competition to that position, but we really stayed true to our board at that point. We had a couple of guys there that we liked. We considered moving back, but we really liked Andrew and his play temperament and his play style and the tools that he had in his body and the mentality that he'll bring to Philly.
He's definitely on the smaller side. He's definitely on the smaller side. I guess obviously you can make him bigger, but what's he do?
I personally can't make him bigger, Jeff, but I'm sure there are people here who can.
So how does he offset that, and why did you guys feel comfortable about the despite the lack of size?
Yeah, I just think at the end of the day, you watch the tape, you see with the tools that he has in his body, you know the person, and he's got a nose for the ball, and he's got a feel for making big-time plays and big-time moments, and that's really the skill set we're looking for from the safety position. Guys who have the versatility to play down, who can play in the middle of the field, obviously who can play shell coverage. So all these things are things that he can do really well, and we feel like this is a guy that really we had targeted there when we opened up this morning.
With the way he plays, Howie, such a physical guy at that size, how much do you take into account? I mean, is there ever a concern that just so physical at his size that in the NFL playing against bigger, stronger, faster guys, injuries could be a concern?
Yeah, I think that's a concern with every player, that you're drafting. Obviously, it's a physical game and injuries happen, but, the guy's been durable. And he's a heck of a player, and I think our fans are going to love his play style. I know that's what jumps off the tape to us. I know even after we're doing it, Coach, and of course Coach Sirianni way was already looking at things he can help him improve on, and every time he had watched him a bunch of times before, but he's like, look at this play, and it's just he's that kind of player who is a really fun watch and a really good player.
Nick, Howie mentioned.
Wow, you gave in.
Yeah, all right. Howie mentioned
Age before
competition
Peter.
and safety. How do you feel about that competition right now after adding Andrew?
Yeah, I like the room before we even got into the draft tonight, just the pieces that we have in that room. And obviously Andrew adds to that, and really excited about that room and the competition that we're going to get there.
What kind of plays were standing out that Andrew?
Yeah, man, this guy just can run and hit, and he has a knack to take the football away. You can tell the football is constantly on his mind, whether it's in coverage or coming after in a tackle and being the second man in on a tackle and getting a strip attempt. it's constantly on his mind. And I just love tough players, and it just oozes off the tape how physical he plays, how tough he plays, how he plays with relentless effort and throws his body around, and I love that about him. I'm really excited about it.
He loves the tough players. I like the athletic players together. We match perfect.
There you go.
Do you have a player comp? Just kidding. Just kidding.
In the third round, Howie, you traded down twice to get out. What was the thought process behind that?
Yeah, when we were picking where we were in the third round, we're really watching the board, looking for opportunities to move up, and to kind of watching where it was and where we felt like there was an opportunity maybe to get someone who was a little bit higher on our board, and then the opportunity where there was a kind of sweet spot on our board. And as we got closer to our pick, we had a couple of opportunities there that we felt like kind of maximized where we were on our board, and getting the pick next year. I think we're going to be at 12 or 13 picks next year, and a lot of them in the first 5 rounds. So I think obviously that's exciting. Not saying that we don't have things that we don't want to improve on this football team right now, because we do. But we then felt like, again, the move down tomorrow gave us an opportunity in the 4th round here to kind of sleep on it and really kind of get our board set and ready for tomorrow. Having 6 picks tomorrow, a great opportunity to improve our football team on the 3rd day. It's a really fun day for us. And we just felt like it made sense to make those 2 moves with where the board was at.
Howie, was Makuba on your radar at all at Clemson? And how much, he talked about how much, changing schools helped him. Did you see that?
Yeah, Ruben, the process, our scouts do an amazing job. This draft will end, and it's not like they go home and walk their dog for 3 months. And they're watching guys in preparation for next year, because when we report to training camp, they know I'm going to say, who am I watching? And so they do a great job of summer scouting. And for me, I got an opportunity in training camp because I'm here. There's not preseason film for the first few weeks. We have practice, you watch practice, and we're here, supporting the staff till we can. And so it's a great opportunity to really get a head start on college guys before things kick into full swing. And what are you doing? You're watching their last year, because they're not going to change so much athletically, playing personality, playing style. So I guess the long-winded answer is, watching him at Clemson is where he first gets on the radar. And then you see him at Texas, and this league, there's no such thing anymore as box safeties. I mean, you have to be able to play in space. We talked about it last night. It is a space game. And the guys are just too fast and too explosive in this league when you get to the 2nd and 3rd level. So, yeah, he was on our radar.
On changing schools, he talked about his self-awareness about his own development. Mm-hmm. How vital is that as he's stepping into a room where there is competition for him to get on the field?
You understand the distraction of your finger, right? I mean, I don't know. It's like, is it a tissue? I mean, we got guys who can help you here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What was your question?
You talked about his own self-awareness, about his development in changing schools. How vital is that for him as he's coming into a room where there is competition for him to get on the field?
Yeah, I think that's a great question for coach. When you have players who are self-aware, and that just means they want to be coached. They want to get better.
I'll be honest with you. Stop listening. What's the question again? Tell me what the question is again.
Self-described.
I thought I answered it pretty good. I thought he has the self-awareness to know that he's tapped out.
You've spoken about, or how you mentioned possibly trading a back from the 2nd round, but you've had success in the past trading up in the 2nd round. Did you, especially with day 1 targets in the ball? In looking this year, were you too far back to do that? Or is there not that type of player? How would you describe that?
We always start day 2. It's a great question, because we always start day 2 with a list. And, obviously when you're going into day 1 and you're picking 32, there is a scenario where you're moving back into the 2nd round. And we've had that before. And so that list starts your day 2. And so we had a couple of players. It's interesting, and Coach and I were talking about it, at right first thing when we were talking this morning. And he's like, where do you think these players go? And I go, boom, 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 and it's just, the whole league sees it a lot of the same, and that's why you saw like we got to the 8th pick in the second round last year to get Coop. You know, for where we are, it's like the trades there, they're so substantial. And, you know, a lot of times it's hard if your ammunition is in future drafts, you know, because people want to improve their teams right now. And so it was something that we considered. It was something we looked into. It got to the point in the second round where it didn't really make sense for us and the prices that were going, but certainly it was something that we considered, and there were certain players that we were willing to be aggressive for in the second round.
Last one, Martin.
You guys mentioned obviously that it's a changing league and you got to have versatility and everything. What kind of made you guys come to that realization that you needed to have as many versatile players as possible?
Well, I think that was a little bit misunderstood. I wasn't saying we need to have as many versatile players. I was saying we need to have as many explosive, fast players that we can have. And I don't think that's like a headline or anything like GM wants fast, physical, explosive players. I think that it's just, to me, these guys are so fast in this league, and they are such explosive players. And explosiveness comes in different ways. You know, it doesn't come in just speed. It comes in power. It comes in change of direction. And so at the end of the day, like, there's nowhere that you can be slow on defense. And, you know, certainly that's our goal, to keep adding players who fit that description.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.